Welcome to NIBM Global webinar. Now we are going to discuss on a very important terminology known as prospecting. In a sales process is a professional way of selling anything. It can be taken in the cyclical order, starting from prospecting, ending in prospecting, and just continuous. In a sales process, one of the most important segment or one of the most important step is this word known as prospecting. The word prospect is there's a difference between suspect and a prospect. Suspect, you don't know anything about somebody, but prospect is when you start knowing about that particular person. You meet somebody initially, and that person is a stranger, and when you start speaking to him or knowing about him a bit more, then he changes from a suspect to somebody who is known. Somebody who is known means you know something about that person. He becomes a prospect. And in our business, that person is a prospective customer. Now, he might not be a customer in the initial stage. There are enough steps to be followed, and then this prospect becomes a customer ultimately. You have to travel that path which is required in the sales process, starting from the time you prospect till the time you close the sale. So this is what happens in any sale, any business. If I am a businessman, I need people in my business to buy my product. If people don't buy my product, then it becomes difficult for me. So there, prospecting plays the most important and integral part of the sales process, and it is like the heart of any human being. Heart pumps blood to each and every organs and each and every part of the body. It carries the oxygen, it carries the nutrition. Similarly, prospecting is something which continuously pumps in people who are required to get your business from one level to the next level. Now, prospecting can be done in different ways. It can be you and the people around you. That can be a market that you are looking into. Or if you have seen any newspaper or any magazine, there may be a lot of advertisements. Placing it in the newspaper, and there's a target market which you are actually trying to reach. So the people whom you intend, who are going to watch this particular ad, they watch it, and if they need, they will call you. That is another way of prospecting. So there are two types. You go out in search of people, or you wait for somebody to call you after looking at an ad or a marketing. That is what is known as marketing. You market it and wait for people to call you back. Educational institutions, they market it and they wait for people to call, and that is the way they are doing the prospecting. Today, even hospitals are doing the same thing. Hospitals are advertising about their facilities, and people are aware that this hospital has this. So when in need, they might reach that particular place. So prospecting is a very important activity which cannot be, it's so vital that it can be missed in any sales process. Different methodologies of prospecting. One we already spoke about is giving ads. Second is you might have got calls from some or the other institutions asking, sir, do you want loan? Sir, are you looking for some holidays? Sir, are you looking for some hotel rooms or anything? Are you looking for any real estate? You might have got enough and more calls from the banks and any other service sector. So most of the service industries would give you calls to check whether you require certain things. And that is known as cold calling. Cold calling is nothing but you're just calling by taking a number or name that you found anywhere. So there is a team which is going and collecting databases from people, and from there are the telecallers who will be waiting to get the databases, and they start calling one and one, each and every customer in the list, immaterial of who that person is. So that is known as cold calling. Once you cold calling happens as where people call strangers. There are reference calls. You have already a customer. This customer can give you more references. So you make calls to that person and it becomes a reference call. So you collect databases based on references as well. Third, there are methodologies when you go to, if you remember, you have gone to any trade fairs or any park, there might be few people sitting under an umbrella and they will say, sir, it's a gift coupon. Please Put your name and details here, and if there is a gift for you, if you are lucky, there's a lucky draw. In the lucky draw, if you get a prize, we will inform you. So we are so happy that we go and write our name with phone number, put it into that box. That is also another type of prospecting, where say people are attracted to something. When I hear the word free and when I hear the word gift, I get attracted. And that is one of the ways you get names of people whom I can contact later on for any of my products. There are other methodologies of doing prospecting. So these are the few things that I just said. If you remember, or if you have seen, you are walking on the road or you are in a mall, there might be people coming to you and asking for some details, asking questions, and they said, we are just going to mark your opinions on this paper, something like that. It's known as market surveys. So people come and do market surveys, and what is intention of doing a market survey is nothing but collecting the names. Means that is another way of doing prospecting. So any organization which is into service or sales would continuously do prospecting for increasing their prospect base, because that prospect base is a capital for any organization to get into to step up their sales from one level to the next level. They can't stop prospecting. If you stop prospecting, the business is dead. If heart stops, pumping of blood stops. Similarly, if prospecting stops, everything stops. There is a saying, you might not be able to do sales, or I'll put it in this way. If you continuously do prospecting, sales will automatically come. So it is all about doing the prospecting, identifying people who are worth buying your products, or identifying the people who are capable of buying your product. So that is this important word known as prospecting, and there is no place for prospecting. Prospecting can happen every time in the sales process. You meet a customer, the customer might be interested, not interested, but still you can start prospecting. The other thing, what is a customer can give you, or another prospect can give you, is names of some relatives or some friends of that individual. So if you start, prospecting is not something that can be completed in 10 minutes time. It requires whole day to speak about, because enough and more is there to speak about prospecting. An individual, I'll say an individual can contribute as much as 1,000 names. Now what is 1,000 names all about? This 1,000 names for me as a business person is the capital infusion into my business, other than the money. Money, yes, you can have investors, but capital infusion on the other side, which is people to do my business, is so important that each and every individual can contribute 1,000 names. So that is another way of going and doing prospecting, because as I said, sales process, anywhere and everywhere prospecting can happen. However, prospecting, as I was saying from the beginning, is the most important part, integral part of any business. If you stop it, your business is dead. Prospecting can be, you might listen to this prospecting terminology in a different way in some other place. It can be known as sourcing as well. However, there is a difference between sourcing and prospecting. Now we are speaking about prospecting is finding the right prospects for your business. Now, when you go out and you have a visiting card, you go out in the sense you or your people are going out onto the market. You have visiting cards. Visiting card, giving and taking visiting card is also another means of prospecting. So each and every activity that you do to understand your customer, to find a person who can be your customer, is what known as prospecting. So to just summarize everything what I said now, prospecting as a terminology, it's nothing but identifying the right person to buy from you the products or the services that you have in your business. Prospecting is the most important, I'll say the vital part of the sales process. And it can happen anywhere in the sales process. It is not the beginning, it is not the end, but it is everywhere possible. Happy prospecting. Thank you very much.